Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/PettyRevenge. In today's episode, a stranger tells me smile, it could be worse. Instantly regrets it. Bully me at the bus stop? You can stop getting on the bus, then. Bully teacher got a taste of her own medicine. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. A stranger tells me smile, it could be worse. Instantly regrets it. Last week, I was out and about, making a start on some errands I had. As I was walking, I was going through my long to-do list in my head. So I wasn't frowning, I wasn't smiling. My face was just in neutral. A man starts heading towards me. As we pass, he tells me, smile, it could be worse. I stop, stare at him for a moment, and then I say, my parents were in an accident. My mom died on impact. We're turning off my dad's life support tomorrow. The guy looked like a robot being suddenly shut down. His face fell. He looked like a deer in headlights. He stuttered and stammered. He was obviously trying to think of something to say, and when he couldn't, he turned around and speed walked away. My parents are both fine. There was no accident. But it annoys me when people think they have the right to dictate how people are feeling and what expressions they make, especially when they don't know what is going on in their lives. It's unhelpful and patronizing. Imagine telling somebody who has just been given a terminal diagnosis, smile, it could be worse. Or somebody who has lost a child, been laid off, or is otherwise struggling and in a terrible situation. I found out my dad died while at work. There's a shuttle ride to the employee lot. On the ride back to my car, tears silently streaming down my face, a stranger said, it can't be that bad. I hadn't found my voice yet and just ignored them. But, yes, it was that bad. I worked at a home for developmentally disabled adults. I was off for a few days, and when I returned for my shift at the home, there was a lot of cars there and lots of people looking shook up smoking cigarettes outside. I jovially strolled up to the group and jokingly said, who died? They all looked at each other and said, he doesn't know? One of the clients had a massive coronary that morning, I had no idea. I felt like utter shit the rest of the day. My boss pulled me aside and comforted me after realizing I felt like a complete imbecile for my joke. I don't know a single person who has been helped by smile or cheer up by a complete stranger. If somebody wants to be sad, let them be sad. We're human. We can't be happy all the time. And that's fine. Healthy even. Dude needs to mind his business. A few weeks ago my nan died. I was at work a week later and obviously not in a good mood. I had someone say to me, smile, it can't be that bad. I told them I don't know, I'm burying my nan who died last week soon. Pure panic. I gave permission to my husband to tell rude ladies that I died in childbirth when he's out alone with both own kids and someone says something stupid. Allah, where's their mother? If they're being a handful or babysitting today, are we? He's only had to do it a few times, but boy, does that shut them up fast. As a dad, I hate this. My go-to response when I get asked if I'm babysitting is I'm an involved and capable parent, not a babysitter. I'm sorry you haven't known more fathers like that in your own life. I had a homeless guy do this to me once while walking. Only I really was depressed. He was like, hey man, it ain't so bad, look at me, I'm happy. Then he was like, watch this, it'll make you happy. Then he walked into a small crowd of business types waiting to cross the street and started making weird sounds at them. They freaked out and ran. Sure enough, it was hilarious. His name was Solo. Hope he's doing alright out there. I'm still depressed though, lol. I think this is the only time it's okay to say cheer up, it's not so bad, lol. That would definitely cheer me up. I was once told to smile, you'll be prettier. I was just walking to work, listening to a podcast, neutral face. To which I gave my best impression of a Joker grin, eyes wide and manic, eyebrows at my hairline, showing as many teeth as I possibly could. Then, with crazy smile on my face said, between my teeth, am I pretty yet? The guy walked away pretty fast, not sure why. After my boyfriend's funeral, we stopped at a drive-thru because I was starving and hadn't been able to eat at the lunch after the service because I was drugged to high heavens. Go through the line, get to the front, and the kid said basically that I'd finally stopped bawling my eyes out for the first time in a week. That started it all up again and had me a wreck the rest of the day. Like, yes, probably just trying to be nice, but you don't know what that person is going through or what those words could bring up instead. I hope it traumatized him into never saying that again. Bully me at the bus stop? You can stop getting on the bus, then. This happened well over 10 years ago, but every so often, I remember it and smile because it's a nice memory to me, no matter how fuzzy the details are. A bit of backstory. I went to a school that was over 3.5 miles from my house since it was the only school with a gifted program. I think my mom didn't drive me to school because of her job at the time, but there was a bus stop to get to my school at the other school that was a little under a mile from my house. So, every morning, she would get me ready, and then we'd get in her car and drive to the bus stop. I'd get out to wait for the bus, and she'd leave when the bus came. Here's where the story starts, finally. At the time of this story, probably second grade, I was on horrible terms with a girl in my class. I forget who bullied who, but eventually, we made up. Enter her older brother and his friend. I think they were in 6th grade. I remember them being significantly taller than me. I have no idea why, but one day, they decided that every day at the bus stop while we were waiting for the bus or our rides, they were going to bully me. It started out kinda small, calling me names regarding my weight, calling me weird, etc. I've always been obese, I'll admit it. I was also autistic, but I wouldn't be diagnosed for a few more years, despite my mom fighting for a diagnosis since I was in any sort of schooling. What they said hurt me, but I never showed it. And then it escalated. It had probably been a few months by this point, and they hadn't stopped the bullying. It was another afternoon, and I was waiting for my mom, trying to ignore them, smushing berries from the bush beside the school doors with my fingers. I don't know what sparked it, but I heard laughing as the brother of the girl I previously had issues with grabbed onto one of the pillars and pretended as if he was being sucked in by something. That something was me. He said, she has her own gravitational pull, and some other things that implied I was as big as a planet. His friend had joined in at this point. I tried to hold it together, but I couldn't. I cried in silence. And when my mom pulled up and I got in the car, she asked me what was wrong, and I completely broke. I explained through sobs that the boys who were still at the bus stop were bullying me, and I like to imagine that this made my mom see red. Things are a bit fuzzy from here, but I believe my mom called the bus garage and bus coordinator person, told them the situation, and a few days later, the boys stopped showing up at the bus stop. I forget who told me, but I found out that she had managed to get them kicked off the bus for the rest of the year. From then on, I looked up to my mom more than I had before, and I felt so much closer to her. Sadly, she's not here to help me anymore, but now, I can stand up for myself without her help. Rest in peace, Mom. That's a great mom. 100%, she was the best mom I could have ever asked for. She actually understood autism, well, as much as a person could when I was a kid. She engaged in my interests, and even showed me things that became new interests of mine. My mom was a bit more direct. She would literally stand next to us at the bus stop holding an ominously painted stick she called the ugly stick. The ugly stick was definitely a character of my childhood rather than just being a wooden object. It was about 10 inches long and painted in black and red with totem faces on it. It was fairly heavy, at least to my second grade self, and presented quite an image for anyone who decided to mess with us, even though she never used it. The idiot kids would cluster at great distances and make noises, but we didn't care because we knew they wouldn't come close or try anything dumb. This is as much as to say, don't be surprised if artsy mom can protect just like the rest. We owe a great deal of our sense of safety in the universe to the ugly stick. I still have it somewhere. I remember it fondly. Moms rock, but you're also rolls. Bullies of the bus. R.I.P. Lioness, you did great. Bully teacher got a taste of her own medicine. This was long ago. In high school, I had a teacher, let's call her Elena, who was quite a character. She enjoyed humiliating students, making them come to the chalkboard to mock them, and other such delights. She had a peculiar fixation on me, given my shy and reserved nature. Many times she enjoyed making an example of me for imaginary faults. Until the last year when I decided I didn't care anymore. One day I arrived just after her, and Elena saw it as a delay. So, she started speaking in front of the whole class. Well. It seems Aziraphale overslept. Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a man who woke up early every day, and one day he found a wallet full of money. What do you think the moral of the story is? I put on my best smile and replied. The one who lost it woke up even earlier. The whole class burst into laughter for a good while. Elena seemed like a traffic light. First, she turned red with embarrassment, and then white with anger. She never bothered me again. The one who lost it woke up even earlier. Also, if the person is honest, they'll have to lose time going to the police and handing over the found wallet. If the person is not honest, they're not exactly a role model. Hard to find a moral to this story, isn't it? Said they found it, not stole it. Don't encourage op to be ignorant. There's enough going on in this world without encouraging them. So, she thought it was okay to teach the class that stealing someone's money from their lost wallet is an okay thing to do? WTF? Absolutely. Keep in mind this was a narcissistic and sociopath person. She smiled every time she got one of us crying, sad face. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.